Hey guys, welcome back to Sourdough for Dummies. This is the 6th video in the series. In this one we're going to be covering baking loaves. Again, if you haven't watched the previous videos, you should go back and watch those. It's step by step to get you up to this point. So let's go through how to actually make your loaves and get to enjoying your bread. So the most important piece of equipment you have through this whole process is going to be your Dutch oven. I have a basic cast iron Lodge one, like what you see here. You can also get an enameled one if you want, but these ones work fine for me. Beyond that, I also have a basic bread lamb, like what you see here. This helps me score the loaf and get it ready for baking. So here's my loaves from the last video. They've risen either overnight in the fridge or 4 hours at room temperature. I'm doubled on the recipe just as a reminder. Next step is going to be setting your oven to 500 degrees. I use an upper and a lower oven to cook 2 loaves at a time. This is going to depend upon your personal situation and your setup. Just make sure your Dutch oven can fit inside. So you're going to put it in there and close everything up and let everything come up to temperature. While the oven and the Dutch oven are coming up to temperature, I like to unwrap the loaf or the loaves that I'm about to bake and get them ready on the counter right next to where I'm going to be working. So after your oven hits temperature, you're going to want to wait about another 10 minutes. Make sure the Dutch oven fully gets up to temperature and it heat soaks. It gets all that heat into it. After that happens, you're going to put on your gloves to be safe here, and you're going to take the Dutch oven out. And again, be careful, this is at 500 degrees, so you want to work on a cooktop or something safe that won't burn. Once you have the Dutch oven out, you take the lid off like you saw there. You're going to take your first loaf, you're going to put your fingers over top of the loaf, flip it upside down, and kind of open your hands and let the loaf fall into the Dutch oven. You're trying to aim for the center of the Dutch oven so it's not stuck on the walls or anything like that. After that, you're going to take your bread lamb or your cutting tool, put a little score line in it or a design or whatever you're going for here. You're going to close it up, and then you're going to put the whole thing back in the oven, which is still at 500 degrees. So let's take another look at that. I take the lid off, I get my next loaf, put my fingers on top, flip, drop, get in there with the scoring tool or the lamb, and I make my line. I'm just working with the edge of the blade there and dragging it through and just trying to get a line in there. I'm going to cover this one up and put it in the bottom oven, also at 500 degrees. You're going to bake the loaves for 20 minutes at 500 degrees. After that 20 minutes is up, you're going to come back and turn the ovens down to 450 degrees. You don't need to open anything or move anything. You're just going to dial the ovens down. At 450 degrees, you're going to leave them in there for another 10 minutes. After those 10 minutes at 450 degrees, you're going to put on an oven glove and you're going to get into your oven here. You're going to pop the lid off the Dutch oven and you're going to place it in a safe spot. Again, I put mine on a cooktop. It's coming off at 450 degrees, so you need to find a safe spot for it. And you get to get a peek at your loaf for the first time here. It's doing good. I go down to the other oven and I repeat the same process. I pop the lid off, and this was after 10 minutes at 450, and I place it somewhere safe. After you take the lids off the Dutch ovens, you're going to bake for another 15 minutes at 450 degrees. After those 15 minutes are up, you're going to put your oven gloves on, get in there, and pull the loaves out of the Dutch ovens. They're done now. You're going to want to put them on a cooling rack and let them sit for a good amount of time, usually about a half hour or an hour, until they fully cool down. Don't cut into them right away. Let them rest. Let them sit there. Admire all your hard work. So here's my first 2 loaves looking great. Going to let them fully cool off. And then behind this, I have my last 2 loaves coming off, so you get to take a look at that and all the slow-mo goodness here. So I hope you guys turn out some delicious loaves and you get to enjoy them now with yourself, your friends, your family, whoever. You can use them fresh as is, toast them up, use them for sandwiches, whatever. I've also cut them up and used them for French toast, which is delicious. But I hope you guys had a good time along the way here and you produced something nice at the end. Thanks for following along, guys, and trying something brand new. Hopefully these videos were helpful to you and able to step you through the process, and you could turn out something nice for yourself at the end here. Stay tuned for future videos where I'll go over how to make different foods with the sourdough starter. But congratulations to you and enjoy.